I know you said you worked all over Mexico, but you also worked at that time in Colombia, correct?
Correct.
From what years to what years were you in Colombia?
In and out. See, I was never like a guy stationed in Colombia. When you're an undercover operative for the DEA, you come and go. So I was in and out of a country back before Escobar was killed. You're talking 89, 90. You know, when Pablo Escobar was the king of a Medellin cartel. So I was in and out of those countries for a couple, 2 or 3 years.
Okay, did you ever have any dealings with Pablo Escobar himself?
You can't get close to those guys. Any DEA agent that'll tell you that he met Pablo Escobar in person is not telling you the truth. Those guys are so insulated and so well protected. And remember, they have police working for them and military guys that protect them. You can get into their network and find out what's going on undercover. But to meet the main guys it's almost impossible, to tell you the truth.
Got you. Okay, we've all seen the Netflix series Narcos. There were two agents. I believe they were FBI. Steve Murphy and Javier Pena.
I know both of them. They were DEA agents.
They were DEA as well?
Yes, they are. They're DEA retired agents. Yes.
Okay. When you were stationed out there, did you have a chance to work with both of them?
No, because the way we worked undercover is I never met most of the agents because I wasn't allowed to go to the office. When you go undercover, you go to wherever they assigned you to go work out of, and you don't go to the embassy, obviously, because you don't want to show yourself. So all my communication when I was undercover in Colombia would be via phone to the office. But show up at the office to meet the guys, like, no. I met some of the agents, but I remember meeting them specifically. They would come out and meet me at different places to pick up drugs or or give me money or do different things. But they weren't involved with me because I couldn't be seen with them because they were known and I couldn't go to the office.
Got you. And this is just a random question. I mean, you guys are working. This is a high stakes game you're playing. I gotta believe you're living in foreign countries. You got your family with you, correct?
No, you don't.
No?
No. Not when you're undercover, no. When you're assigned to an embassy, yeah, you take your family, but you're assigned to work out of an embassy, then you do. But when you're working like I was, my family stayed back here. I was flying in and out, doing the undercover work.
How often are you getting back home to even see your family at that point?
Sometimes it all depends on the operation. Sometimes you would be gone 3 or 4 months. Sometimes just a couple of weeks. It all differed.
Okay, I ask you this because being undercover, it has to be extremely, extremely scary. You're living a lie 24 hours a day. How does somebody like you deal with nerves, deal with your own fears, because you don't know, you have informants that can turn on you. You have people that are working in the government that are also on the payroll for some of these different cartels and groups. Is there ever a moment's peace for somebody like you?
Well, you actually become what's called an adrenaline junkie. I was definitely an adrenaline junkie. I love to live on the edge. It's kind of like being a fighter pilot. You enjoy that rush. So I kind of enjoyed it. Yes, it was very dangerous. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to survive retirement. I thought I was going to get killed because I was in and out so much. I knew that I was very good. And when I learned how good I was at my trade at working undercover was when I had to go undercover into a captain of sheriff's department that was bringing in heroin. And when I convinced a captain that I was a crook and he sold me heroin and I arrested him and another narcotics agent to boot, then I knew I was very good.
Wow. Damn. You would have to be an adrenaline junkie and you would have to feel like I am great at doing what I'm doing because you can trust nobody. I mean, you just said you arrested a captain. Me outside looking in, I wouldn't feel safe sitting with anybody unless this is somebody that I have literally been partners with for years, and I know that this person is incorruptible. He is in this fight with me to the death.
When you're working undercover, you're carrying your life in your hand. This guy was a captain in the Webb County Narcotics Sheriff's Department in Laredo, Texas. He had like 20 narcotic agents working under his command. The first time that he sold me heroin, Sean, which was a sample of kilos of heroin, he sold me the heroin at the Sheriff's Department. He picked me up at the airport in San Antonio, drove me down to Laredo, and he said, "I've got your samples of heroin. It's 10 ounces. Did you bring the money?" And I said, "Yes, I'll deliver it. I'll deliver it to you when we get to Laredo." We get to Laredo, and he drives me right into the Sheriff's Department. And he's introducing me to the other narcotic agents there as his cousin Manny from Chicago. And and I'm wondering, why did he bring me to the Sheriff's Department? So he as we're walking into his private office, because he had his own private office, he was a captain there. There's two long-haired guys there, two Anglo guys with long-haired, little hippie-looking guys. And he says, "Manny," because I was using the name Manny undercover. He said, "You see those two guys right there?" And I said, "Yeah, what about them?" He said, "Those guys are DEA agents." And I looked at him and he said, "Really? Those guys are DEA agents?" He says, "Yep." I said, "That look pretty dirty to me." I said, "Why don't you ask them to take a shower, man? They look like they haven't showered in weeks." And we kind of laughed, and we went inside his office. And he gets behind his desk and he pulls out a shaving kit. And he throws it at me. So I'm opening it and I see there's 10 ounces of heroin in there. And he says, "There's your stuff. That's your sample of what you're going to be getting." And I said, "Great. Do you bring my money?" And I said, "Yeah." I had it in an envelope in my coat pocket, and I handed him the envelope. Didn't even comment, Sean. He just grabbed it and put it in the middle of his drawer. He says, "Let's go party, Manny." And we did. We went out and partied all night.
Oh, you know what the craziest part is? As you were telling me this story, I'm thinking this is happening in a foreign country. Did I get this right that this happened in Texas?
Laredo, Texas, to be exact.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yes, I'm not.
Did this become national news?
No, not really. It made news locally there. I mean, as a matter of fact, he was running for sheriff when I arrested him.
Oh, okay.
I put him.
Wow.
I locked him up in his own jail.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.